Hi everybody, Tammy here, and I wanted to do a brief overview of Google Docs. Now, Google Docs is one of the applications that's within Google Drive, the entire platform of Google Drive. Google Drive contains many of the Google apps that we use in education, and it's great for collaboration, and it is great because it is web-based. It's accessible via the internet wherever we are, so we don't have to worry about a little thumb drive or we can't work because it's on the computer at work. It's accessible wherever we are via the internet, which is great. But collaboration is the key. So again, we're talking about Google Docs today, so let's dive right in. So what I'm going to do is I am in Google Drive, and you can access Google Drive through the little grid up in the upper right if you're in Mail or in Gmail or any of the other Google apps. And Google Drive has different things on the left here that I want to just briefly talk about. My Drive is everything, all the files that you create yourself. This is your Google Docs, your slides, your forms, your sheets. Everything is in My Drive if you created it. Now, shared with me is all the files that others have created and shared with you to collaborate, or they just wanted to share a file with you. So those are the two main areas that you would find files here. Now, shared drives is new. It used to be team drives, but that's just a great place for you to have a drive or a folder, basically, that can be shared with a team, and then you guys can add resources to it as you need to. So again, My Drive is everything that you've created. Shared with me is everything that others have created. When you have files that others have shared with you, it doesn't have to stay in shared with me. You can move it to My Drive and you can organize it. And I'll show you real quick what I mean by organizing. In Google Drive, you can have folders, and you see some of my folders here. I would highly suggest that you work hard to organize your files from the get-go, because it can be so overwhelming with all the files that you have. So create folders. You can color code them. It's really easy. You just right click on it and change the color, and you can change that folder to any color that you want to. So I just wanted to quickly show you that. All right, so what I'm going to do first, and what I encourage you to do right now, is create a new folder. So we go to New, and it's right up at the top, Create a New Folder, and you can call it professional development. You can call it whatever the session that you're in right now. It's just a way to easily access the things that you're learning, and you can find it, I think, more easily. So I'm going to create that folder, and then I'm going to create a document within that folder. So now I'm going to double click on that PD folder, and I'm going to click New. Now, this is about Google Docs specifically, so what we normally do, and some of you have probably already worked with Google Docs, is you just click on New Google Docs. But I want to point out the arrow. Sometimes you just do the same thing over and over again, and you miss out on some great stuff. You can actually choose from a template, so let me show you that real fast. It'll show you if you want to do a newsletter or a resume or some kind of report. They have all these different templates, so I would encourage you to take a look at those whenever you get a chance. For today's purposes, we're just going to do a regular document. So we can click on Google Docs or go to the arrow and say blank document. All right, so I'm going to open up the Google Doc. Let's see, in Docs, as we're working here, what I would like for you to also do is encourage you to think about how students can use Google Docs, the great nature of collaboration with Google Docs and all the Google apps, which is great. So be thinking about that as we're working. How can my students use this? Again, the beauty of the collaboration within all the Google apps, and the fact that it's web-based and can be accessed from anywhere. So students are able to access from a computer at home as well. All right, so the first thing I want to do is have a title up here. So the default is an untitled document. So I want to give it some kind of title, and I'll just say Growth Mindset, one of my favorite topics. So I'm just going to title that Growth Mindset. And I don't know if you caught it, but when I did that, it says it's saving right here. So this is where your checking to see that it's always saving. If you're online and you're creating this document, it is constantly saving for you. You do not have to worry about saving the document and losing all your work, which is great. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some material in here, and to do that, I'm actually going to search. I want to, let's see, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to Google search real quick, and I'm going to look up some growth mindset. Just see what Google has to say. All right, I'm going to copy this right here, a little magic box over here. I'm going to go back to and paste that in. Okay, so I have this data is now in here, and just some stuff that I can work with here. I'm going to center and call it growth mindset. I'm also going to title it. I can highlight it, and right now it's set to normal text, but I can make it a title, and it's going to make it bigger. It's got different, let me show you all the different things you can make it. You make it a subtitle or a heading. So you have all these different options for your text. So I'm just going to leave it at title. All right. Let's see. What I do want to point out right now is because so many have traditionally used Word, Microsoft Word, I want to show you that it's easy to convert a Word document to a Google Doc. And I'm just going to Okay, so I found this document here. This is a Word document that it says Power Bingo or something. So if I have that Word document in Google Drive, I will show you what that looks like. If I double click on that, it will pop up the document and I'm able to look at it, I'm able to print it or whatever. So I can hold documents, Word docs in Google Drive, but I am not able to edit it. It is not editable. I can't make changes to it or anything. So if I want to edit it, then I'm going to have to make it a Google Doc, convert it to that format. So I can do it here. I can open with Google Docs, or I can do it in Google Drive and just open with Google Docs and convert it. I can also set up my settings for Google Drive to when I do upload a file, whether it be Word or PowerPoint, then I can automatically convert it to a Google format, to docs or slides or whatever. And once it is in Google Doc format, and I can tell that's what this is, I'm able to edit that document, to edit it and change it. So I just wanted to demonstrate that I'm able to work with Word documents or PowerPoint slides in Google Drive. All right, so let's talk about, we have talked a little bit about saving as we go. So I'm going to bring up my document here. When I edit it, when I do anything in this document, say I'm going to add something here. Going to add some information. You see it says it's saving right here. It's automatically saved. And it says all changes saved in Drive. It's usually faster than that. My computer is just slowing down. I'm going to add more information and save it. So I'm making different changes. And so you can imagine if you have a group collaborating and they're all working in the same document, or maybe they're working on different pages or whatever. Now, if I click on all changes saved in Drive, you're going to be able to access the history of the document. So that's going to pop up here on the right, and it will show you all the documents. I want to click on this drop down right here. And it's going to highlight, if you have multiple people working on it, it's going to have them listed in different colors. So you're going to know who added what based on their color over here. Now, so I have the current version that it's highlighted right here. But if I click on this that happened about 30 minutes ago. Let's see what that looks like. Now it doesn't have that added stuff that I just added to it. Now I can say if I decide I like this version better, all the changes that we made, we're going to scratch and we're going to do it again. We just restore this version. It makes it easy to also, again, see who made what changes to it. So that is a great tool to have. And I'm not going to restore that version. So I'm going to go back to this. See some things on our menu up here. Just want to point out a few things. Make a copy. This is if you want to keep an original and then you want to have a copy to share and make public, or you want to make a different document that looks a lot like a document that you already had. So you want to start with that template maybe, and you can just make a copy of that. You can also download as a Microsoft Word. I use PDF a lot. So if I want to make my document and make it a PDF, then I use it that way. You can move to a different folder and publish to the web. It's really cool. It'll make it, put it in a web format for you. Your typical edit, view, print layout is what I usually have it in, so I can see how it's going to look. Insert, image. These are great tools right here. If I want to insert an image, I can upload from my computer. I can search the web right here. It's going to pop up here on the right side. So I can do a search right here within my document. And with most of your Google apps, you're able to do that. So I'm going to look up some images here about growth mindset, and I want to insert that, and then it's going to allow me to insert that very simply, very quickly, but I love how I'm able to do that directly from my Google Doc, and I don't have to go to a separate tab and do a search for it. So I'm able to search for images that way. I can also upload from my drive or just get some images from my drive or by URL, or I can take a picture with the camera right there with my webcam. Inserting a table, we do that quite often. That makes it super easy. I can do my my width and height. Drawing, I want to show you real quick. Google Drawing, I use Google Drawing to make images quite a bit. So it'll pop up this, and it's also accessible from your Google Drive. If you do new and go to drawing, you're able to do it here. So you can create any kind of graphic that you want right here. And I'm going to get out of that. Okay, let's see what else I want to show you. A chart. If you want to do any kind of graphic chart, that's easy to do here. And if you've done one in Sheets, then you can just insert it right there. You can insert a horizontal line, a footnote, equation, great things right there. Oh, and the table of contents. You can create a format for a table of contents, which is helpful. Formatting, typical formatting. There's your borders and your lines down there at the bottom. Tools, let's talk about tools for just a second. Spelling and grammar, it's doing a spell check for you all the time. It's going to underline little mistakes along the way. It does a word count. Often when our students are doing papers, they're going to need that. Explore, I love the Explorer. You can do a Control-Alt-Shift-I with that, and you're able to explore the web. And I love, so it's talking about growth mindset, and it's already giving me some things to explore on that. So it gives our kids just a great resource for them to work on that. So that's accessible there, and it's also accessible down at the bottom. Let's see, where was I? I was in tools. Translate document. Now, if I want to translate this, there are many languages that I can do it. So here it says the title will be Translate a Copy of Growth Mindset. I can choose any of these. If I wanted to do a letter home, and I've got quite a few Spanish-speaking students or have parents that speak only Spanish, then I'm able to do this easily within within Google Docs. And I'll show you what it looks like. Now, keep in mind, Google Translate is not 100% accurate, but I tell you what, it's better than nothing. And along those lines, Google Translate is just a great tool, period, especially for your ESL students, your students that may speak no English whatsoever. I had a Vietnamese student who had a Chromebook on his desk, and he would have two tabs open. One, Translate from just Google Translate, that you just do a Google search and you'll end up there. But he had it from Vietnamese to English, and then a tab from English to Vietnamese, and we were able to have conversations in my math class. And he was able to pass his 8th grade math, not knowing any English, which was awesome. But it's a great tool, that Translate tool. Now, again, it's not going to be a perfect translation, but again, it's better than nothing. So it's going to just take that whole document and translate it. And again, I apologize for the slowness of my computer. All right, so let's go back to those tools, see if there's anything else I want to show. Voice typing is pretty awesome, especially for some of our students that need that help. I'm going to insert it right here. I'm going to click the microphone, and I do need to allow it access. So it's just going to type out everything that I'm saying into my microphone, period, new line, and then it's going to go new line. It's very similar to how you do your texting, some of your speech to text. So a great tool for your kids, and you just click it again and it will stop. All right, another tool, just take a look at those other things, and then add-ons, that's a whole other video. There are add-ons. You just get add-ons here. I would go search the Chrome store and just and look at all the different add-ons that they have. Or you can just do a Google search for good add-ons for teachers in Google Docs or Slides or whatever. It just adds to the functionality very similarly to our Chrome extensions for the Chrome browser. So just take a look at that. I will also, let me get rid of that real quick, talk about the fonts real quick. I'm going to highlight this. Now, they do have the standard fonts that comes here. If you don't like any of those fonts, then you just click on more fonts, and it's going to give you a ton more fonts to choose from that you can then select, and it will add to your font library. And again, it's just going really, really slow, so I'm just going to get out. So just take a look at the fonts. The last thing I want to mention is the comments. So if they're collaborating, again, Google Apps, it's great for collaboration. They can click on the comment tool and make a comment along the way. Please read over this, and it will insert that comment there. And when it is fixed, somebody read over it, they can choose resolved, and it goes away. So it's a great collaboration tool as far as the work in it and the work around it, because you could have kids that are at their homes and they're collaborating in real time, or maybe not in real time, and they're able to have that conversation on the side there. So again, I hope this is a great overview for you to get started and maybe give you some ideas on how students can use it. There's some just great things up here. Of course, you've got your undo and redo. Got all of your formatting tools here. There's your highlight color and your text color. Got your fonts. You got your different text. We've talked about that. You can insert images here. Add a comment here. There's your hyperlinks. All right, so I hope that gives you a nice overview, and I'm sure if you have any questions, just do a Google search. Google is there to help you, very user-friendly, and they'll help you out. Thanks.